It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer from Stella Artois to Leffe. Even the craft breweries are at it. Northern Monk reducing faith in ABV. We've had an awful time of ABV reduction in the last 12 months or so in the UK, and it hasn't stopped. It really hasn't stopped. The next beer to have its reduction in ABV is Kronenbourg. This is Kronenbourg 1664. Most of you know it. This is the new version. It's coming in. So let's have a look at the two bottles. They both cost me £2.25. One bottle was in Tesco. The other bottle was in Asda. Here is the old bottle. Actually, no, I'm going to be honest with you here. They were both from Asda. I was just thinking then. This bottle's from Asda Cardiff Bay. This bottle from Barry. But I bought this in the knowledge that the ABV was about to be reduced. So here's the two bottles. Both 660 milliliter. There's a slightly different branding on the new bottle, but the most important thing here is turning the neck here. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's 5% ABV. 5% ABV on the, I'm not even going to say old Kronenbourg, because if you went to France and bought this, being a French lager, you'll probably get it at 5%, or maybe even higher. It might be 5.2 in France. This is new Kronenbourg then. 4.6% ABV. There it is there. So let's have a look at these two beers then. You've got the Premier Beer Francais, so the Premier French beer. The Premier Beer Francais, same thing on the top, and then you got Aux Houblons d'Alsace on the new bottle, and Brasseur avec Savoie being going since 1664. So Houblons means hops, I think, in French, I believe. So let's get them out then. So the new 4.6% ABV version is your right, my left. Old version, my right, your left. 5% ABV. Let's just get that nice and clear. Oh, bottle caps. Very quickly. They have very similar, if not. No, they are slightly different. Here's the two different bottle caps. Both 1664, quite prominent. So anyway, new Kronenbourg. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. I mean, the pour's not going to really look too much different, I can't imagine. Got a two finger white head, amber, golden, light amber coloured beer, good levels of carbonation, and it's clear. Old Kronenbourg. 5% ABV. Actually, it does look a little bit. Both exactly the same glasses. I'm seeing if one's got a widget. But the older Kronenbourg has got much better levels of carbonation. And it looks like it's got a slightly, have a look at the head. It's got a slightly tighter head. I know it was poured slightly differently. Right. I'm just wondering, where do we start here? Do we start with, let's start with a new. Let's start with a new. It's not brewed by it's brewed by Kronenbourg, but it's not owned by Kronenbourg anymore. Let's have a quick look who it's owned by. Carlsberg Marston's Brewing Company. Aroma on the new stuff, new Kronenbourg. Yeah. Malt, hops, old Kronenbourg. Yes. New Kronenbourg smells sweeter. Old Kronenbourg has that more kind of hoppy, crisp, dry, continental lager feel about it. Let's dive into new Kronenbourg 1664, 4.6% ABV. That's a reduction of 0.4% ABV. Doesn't taste too bad actually. It's quite crisp. It's a little bit sweet. You can taste a little bit of brewing syrup in there. A little bit of, like, it's not 100% malt or corn or rice. Some brewers use rice. It does taste a little syrupy, but it doesn't taste too bad. But the reason why I do this, the reason why I always go into the new one first, the 4.6, is because I always start off saying, actually, it's not too bad. And then you try the old one, and the old one's completely different. I did it recently with Northern Monk's Faith. I tried the new one first. I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. Then I tried the Old Faith, and it blew the new Faith out of the water. So I mean, I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen here, but there's only one way to find out. So on the first reflection, and this is what these companies want you to do, Carlsberg Marston's Brewing Company, they want you to believe that the new beer is the same, okay. And it does, it tastes okay. But the only way to do it is to put it side by side. This is old Kronenbourg then, 5% ABV. Oh. Straight away, this is much more French lager. This is much more pronounced. It's much more kind of, it's definitely hoppier. It's definitely a hoppier, more striking, crisp, bitter lager. Something you would 100% expect from a French lager. Now, if you've been to France, you've probably, if you're a beer drinker in France, you've probably tried a French stumpy bottle. They're prominent all over France. they're so prominent, they're so popular that you can buy them in British supermarkets. You can buy Stubbies, French Stubby bottles in Aldi and Lidl and Tesco's and Morrison's and Asda. They sell fantastically well. But you get that kind of, that authentic French Stubby bottle taste that differentiates a French Stubby bottle from, say, a pint of Carling or a pint of Foster's. It's definitely a different taste. It's definitely more French, if that's the word to use. Now, for me, this new bottle of Kronenbourg has been brewed more to the British taste. It's just a bit dumbed down. It's just a bit dumbed down. It hasn't got that kind of authentic French Stubby bottle. And they probably thought, what do we do here? Because you've got companies like Madri now, haven't you? Or beers like Madri out there that are heavily marketed, heavily sold. And they're probably, because it all boils down to sales at the end of the day, Kronenbourg are probably thinking, or Marston's Carlsberg here are probably thinking, how do we cope with the juggernaut that's AB InBev and Madri? It's advertised everywhere. What you do to cope is that you make it taste more like Madri. It's the same ABV as Madri now, if I believe. 4.6% ABV is the same as Madri. We're moving away from a world of individual flavours. We're moving into a world of everything tastes the same. Everything tastes like or you know, let's make Kronenbourg taste like Madri because Madri's tasted. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You leave Kronenbourg as an individual beer, because the people who buy Kronenbourg, guess what? They like Kronenbourg. They like the French Stubby bottle style of beer. This isn't it anymore. This isn't it. This is a glorified Madri competitor at 4.6% ABV. And that's a shame. That's a shame. I know, even the old Kronenbourg here, I know it's brewed in the UK under agreement with Brasserie Kronenbourg. So they're both, this is bound to be brewed in the UK. Brewed and bottled in the UK, Carlsberg Marston's Brewing Company. There we go. So they're both UK brewed Kronenbourgs. If you want to try the real thing, and this is where it all gets a little bit confusing, then buy the French stuff. The French stuff, I did a side-by-side French Kronenbourg versus UK brew Kronenbourg, and it is of a different class altogether. The French Kronenbourg is 100% like drinking French Stubbies. This, well, this is better. The 5% ABV UK brewed stuff is better than the 4.6 stuff. It's crisper, it's hoppier, much more of a hoppy, kind of bitter, crisper flavour to it. So my rating, are we comparing apples with apples here because it's French lager brewed in the UK? Yeah, maybe, but we're still in that dumbing down process, aren't we, of beers being reduced in their ABV, 4.6% ABV. What I would like to do is get a French bottle of Kronenbourg and put it up against this 4.6 version of Kronenbourg and really see the difference. It'll be a million miles, I imagine. So my rating then for new Kronenbourg, 4.6% ABV. I mean, it's looked the part, but it's been brewed to look the part. Look, you've got that lace in, nice carbonation. It's just a bit more dumbed down. It's just a bit more, like, there's not much going on, really, when you compare it to the old Kronenbourg. It's all right. I mean, I wouldn't pour it away. But it's been brewed now to compete with Madry. And if you like Madry, then you can buy a Kronenbourg now because it tastes exactly like Madry. 6 out of 10 for the new Kronenbourg. 6 out of 10 for the new Kronenbourg. Old UK brewed Kronenbourg. A much better beer. A much better beer. That's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Now that's just a comparison for today. I know I've done French Kronenbourg versus British Kronenbourg, and I know the ratings are different. It's just today's rating. It's just what I'm trying to do here is say, look, that's an average 6 out of 10 beer. The old Kronenbourg, which is much better, is an 8 out of 10. It's individual on the day. So I hope you liked the video. If you can find some old Kronenbourg, please go out and find some old Kronenbourg before it all disappears. The heavens have opened here. And please put it up against the new Kronenbourg and tell me what you think. But thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.